Hi, this is Isabel. So new format, I decided to get a little creative because I've been doing the biweekly videos for a while now. And I thought that taking questions from people who are watching my channel would be interesting. So when I receive emails and I think, okay, there's something interesting there to share with an audience, I thought that would be a great idea to share that with you. Now, just to mention, if you're looking for a job in Switzerland and let's say you have a quick question or something that's particular to you and you just want to have me make a video, send me a message, contact@isabellitzler.com. You can use the contact page on my website, isabellitzler.com. You have a question, I'll give you the answer. Again, this is short, so if you have more in-depth and you want more private, personalized coaching, feel free to send me a message also and we book a session together. I have some people online tonight. Someone named Rana, I'm not sure. So welcome, Rana. So these sessions, let me know also the timing if it works for me. End of the day is perfect in Geneva because I figure 6 p.m., that's the end of the day. It works out. If you want to see maybe a little bit before during the day or something like that, just let me know the schedule. Rana? Okay, so let's get started. So the question I received was for basically someone who sent me a message about starting a business in Switzerland. So that's basically the idea here is to take your question and give you my feedback on it. So this was, we'll say, from a viewer of my channel. So she says, exploring a business startup maybe in the Bern area. So Bern area is located in the Swiss-German part. Business would be functional medicine and medication therapy management. I'm a pharma and practicing pharmacy manager in the US. I'm also a US citizen, which I see presents challenges. I'd like to know if I can even make this a reality. I'm concerned about the fact that I need to obviously stay over 90 days, and to do that, I need a job or a business. Kind of what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I like this image. Anyway, I'd like to get some guidance. So this was a question from a viewer about starting a business in Switzerland. So before I get started into her particular situation, I just wanted to let you know that starting a business in Switzerland as a non-EU, which is the case here, being a US citizen, is not as simple as that. Already starting a business for someone who's from Europe is also not so easy. I mean, to start a business, you need a little bit more than to say, hey, I think I want to be a consultant, or, well, you know what, I think I'm going to have a website and sell some shoes or sell some clothes. So there's the idea, and then there's putting the idea into motion and actually making an income out of it. So when you want to create a business in any country, really, what is important is how much income are you going to get out of this business? Is it something that's really serious, meaning there's really income potential, or is it just something that's more like a hobby? So that's the first thing that you need to figure out. Does it have real income potential? And you don't really know this at the beginning until you actually test it, So in this case scenario, medication therapy management, the business would be functional medicine and medication therapy management. So my first question would be, did you test already in that market in Bern? Is there other people that are actually providing the same service? How much are their prices? Where are they actually located? What is their type of clientele? Did you try to actually do a survey online to find out if there's needs for this? Because personally, it doesn't really ring a bell. For me, medicine is, I go to the pharmacy and get some medication because I have a doctor's note, or, I go to a natural a store where I can buy some vitamins. For me, those are the two things I know of. So for me, the functional medicine already, I'm not quite sure what it would be. And the medication therapy management, I'm not sure what that entails. So in Switzerland, basically the way it works already, you would have to understand what is the culture for pharma, for how to deliver medication in Switzerland, the Swiss-like quality. So unless you're actually referred by somebody or you partner with somebody, it's going to be hard to be credible, especially when it comes to medicine or providing even alternative medicine. So a lot of people, for example, they get trained in Asia, maybe they know how to do massages or they know how to do acupuncture and all these things. To actually be taken seriously and to get clientele, you would have to be maybe partnering with a Swiss or someone who's been there for a long time and can actually maybe open the business with you. So you could use their license to open the office. That's how people do it usually, is they will partner with someone local that has the license, that can open office, and then they provide their services. But just be aware of that. In Switzerland, you need to do it the Swiss way. So you need to have the local qualifications. And if you don't, either partnering with someone or training yourself to do this. So that's the first thing that you have to look at. What is the local market like? Spend some time really studying the market. And why Switzerland? Then you're going to say, well, I like Switzerland. I like living in Switzerland. Yeah, but maybe you can do it in France or in Germany. Maybe the laws are a little bit easier there and you can just come to Switzerland for trips, or maybe to get to know Switzerland a bit more before you actually go set up over there, which is a little bit tough. As I say in the beginning, you really have to make a case to open a business in Switzerland. So if you're a foreigner and you don't have a working business yet, so there's really multiple steps there, already as a non-EU, the best way to come to Switzerland, and I say this in my introductory session every other Monday when I make my introductory session about how to find a job in Switzerland or build your Swiss career, I say there's really two ways. So the first one is international organization, or the second one is to get married to a Swiss. Those are really the two best ways to come to Switzerland. Anything else is going to be a huge complex situation. So the private sector is not going to choose a non-EU because they already have a lot of people to choose from, and the authorities now want you to circulate the vacancy within the unemployment office. So if it's an easy job or a relatively common job, chances are that there will probably be some people that can fill the position. So you have to see it as the market is competitive for the private sector. For starting a business, it's not going to be like, hey, I'm coming, I want to start a business. You have to come with a huge business plan, maybe partner with someone, show that you can hire people, that it's going to be something, you've done calculations, how much money it's going to bring. You come with something very solid, very built, and you're serious about it. So if you just come to Switzerland and say, hey, I have this idea, that's not going to be enough. So the process is really 3 steps if you want to start a business in Switzerland. First, study the market, do your survey, spend some time really to see if there's any real way for you to build a business there. If not, maybe choose a country nearby. At least you can come visit more and maybe start a business in something else. Maybe you realize Switzerland is not really your thing after all. If you want the experience of the lake and the mountains, you can go to Austria or even maybe in France. We also have lakes and mountains in my country of origin. So really, you have to see why you want Switzerland, what's really behind it, and can you get that experience somewhere else? So that's the first thing. The second thing, once you study the market, you already know that there's a real chance for you to build a business. Then you want to see how to build up your case. So partner with somebody locally, build up your case really well, make sure you have all the details there, make sure you have projection of income, make sure you have resources, meaning financial resources, so that you can potentially hire someone or rent office, etc. So it's going to take resources to do this. To actually ask for a work permit. So basically, you can't ask for a work permit to do business in Switzerland until you have something. So really, when the question, if I go back to the question, is it the chicken and the egg? The first thing is that you need to have credibility. You need to have already sales clients, meaning at least 3 sales if you're going for the independent title or structure. So you need to start something, see if it works, have proof that you have something that works. So proof of concept, I call that. And then if you have something really firm where you make serious income, then you can go and actually build a file for a work permit. But just be aware that as a non-EU, it's going to be quite complicated. I've had examples. So for example, if you're EU, the amount of work that you have to do to build your file is not that high. But if you're non-EU, that's when they're going to ask more about, having offices and being able to get personnel and all these things. So the spending is going to be much higher. The entry into Switzerland as an international non-EU business person is much higher than someone from Europe. So you just have to be aware of that. Does it make sense? The question you need to ask yourself, this lady and people who are watching this video, question you need to ask yourself is, does it make financial sense, common sense, business sense for me to go through this to set up my business in Switzerland? So it goes back to what kind of business is it? If it's something that's really linked to Switzerland, like you're selling something that only the Swiss consume, for example, or it's linked to the lifestyle that you could only sell it there, then maybe it makes sense. Now, if it's a general product, I have some people who contact me about beauty products, creams. Someone contacted me also about bathroom products, etc. Does it really make sense? I mean, this is something that really anyone in the world could be interested in. Markets that are a little bit more easier to enter, I would say. So the Swiss market, really, if you want to enter it, you need introductions. So as the outside person, people are not going to warm up to you like this. They need to understand, where is your business based? How long have you been in business? Where are you located? All these things will come up during when you do your ads on Facebook or anywhere else. So if you don't have introductions, if you don't have experience in Switzerland, and if you're non-EU, I would say it's not the smartest thing to start there. I would say start somewhere where it's easier to enter, do your proof of concept in your business. And once it starts working in your country of origin, for example, it's easier because you know the laws and you know how to get started. And then once you have a proof of concept, you know it's working, you have clients, then you can think about expanding to Switzerland and maybe hiring someone to help you to enter the Swiss market, getting the paperwork ready for the authorities, but you need to come with budget, remember. So that's, to me, is like 3 or 4 steps down the road from your business creation. And there's really 2 things that you need to look into. I see some questions coming up. Zarpas is saying, Nicolas is saying, could you give some hints for IT professionals, English speakers? I have other videos about that, how to search for a job, for job boards and so forth. So you're welcome to go through. This is about starting a business, is the topic of this video. Yeah, EU nationals, is saying Nicolas. So EU national IT, check the job boards. I have tons of videos about job boards. You just check and see what's there and apply. And I have other videos that says how to apply. So to conclude on this video about how to search for, how to get started in Switzerland as a business owner or future business owner, start in your country of origin or country where you have the most chances of quickly getting started, where you already know people, you have a network, you're ready to go, basically. So that's step number 1. Try to look a little bit at what's going on in Switzerland at the same time. And then when you're ready, so again, it's step number 3 or step number 4, then you think about going to Switzerland. But for me, most people are not ready for Switzerland. I mean, you need to come with a huge business idea, something that is proof of concept that you've already tested. Most people are only interested in starting a business in Switzerland to get the work permit. So they use that as a way of, well, I want to get a work permit. I don't have an employer. Can I just say I'm starting a business? Of course, the authorities are smarter than this. So it would be too easy to say, hey, I'm coming from the US or from Canada and I want to start a business. It's not that simple. I mean, people who come to Switzerland and would get a permit for this, they have to be true business owners, entrepreneurs who have something going for them. So it's not going to be the easy route. It's actually the hardest route. If I look at all the ways to get a work permit, this is the hardest one. So probably, again, the easiest would be to get married. The second one would be to work for not international organization. And that's it. For non-EU, that's really all you have. Now, if you're looking for a job as an EU, then I would say go for software engineering, IT, all these professions. There's lots of vacancies on job boards. So you just look, you just have to search. So I see questions here in the chat. Is there any job? Just check, just look at the job boards. I don't have the listing in my head. So you just have to look at it, see what the requirements are. Do you qualify or not? And if not, then what do you need? What do you need to work on? So it's quite easy. Basically, just check out the requirements. Do I match? Not? What do I need to plug in? And then just work on your skills and apply. But just be aware of the context right now after COVID-19. So lots of people have lost their jobs, are on the market. You have to vacate the position within the unemployment office. So there's going to be companies that find people via the unemployment office already or via the network. So internationals, European or non-Europeans, are not going to be priority. So you just have to be patient and keep trying at it professionally. Make sure you work on your skills, on your languages. If you're in the technical sectors like IT, make sure you know the latest and best type of software and tools that companies want you to master. And just keep applying and being patient and trying to work on yourself to build a lot of skills. And also get introduced to the Swiss culture. So you have to, before you want to have any plans in a country, you have to visit the country. I know there's lots of countries I'm interested in, but I wouldn't seriously consider to work or live there until I actually make more visits. So there's a few countries right now that I enjoy, that I know I've had great holidays, but now would I work there? Would I live there? That's a different question. Sometimes you have an idea of something because maybe you heard a friend that had a great experience, or you see pictures or videos and you're like, wow, I'd love to live there. But just be careful. Sometimes the grass is not always greener on the other side. So you just have to prepare yourself, visit Switzerland, ask some more questions, do some research, just see if it's really worth it for you to actually make that huge step to come in a country where it's going to be quite competitive. I talk about this also in my my streaming on Mondays, where I say, be careful. In Switzerland, you can be laid off very easily. So you have a job until you don't have a job. Basically, this is not always easy to manage when you're an expat, especially if you haven't planned for it. Expenses, you need a lot of money for expenses. So just keep all that in mind, that it's not something where you say, oh, okay, I'm just going to grab my bag and come to Switzerland and things will happen. You have to come prepared. You have to come with resources. You have to be ready to be amongst the best people in the world in their fields. So it's not going to be granted to you so easily. And maybe that's not the case in other countries. And the general feedback from most expats is, I didn't expect this. Maybe they thought it would be faster or easier. So I'm trying to repeat here that it's not something that you do just like this in a snapshot. You need to prepare your expatriation. You need to learn about how to apply properly, where are the job boards, etc. You're welcome to watch my webinar that's linked below about how to find a job in Switzerland. It's a short webinar, about half hour. And then you have the option to purchase the course so that you can be prepared for the Swiss market accordingly, on networking, on all these things. So I think that was it for the question. Feel free to send it, contact@isabellitzer.com. Again, the only thing I require is that it's interesting. So don't send me a question, hi, I want to work in Switzerland. I can't really do a video on that. But if you explain a little bit more about the context and what you're looking for, etc., then maybe I can build a video that's interesting for the audience. So feel free to send me a message. Again, contact@isabellitzer.com. I will make sure to do a new streaming again on Friday. So, and there will be also a streaming with a guest speaker on blockchain. This is something where it's huge right now, and that's probably where everyone should be looking, because in the next few weeks or months, I think digital is really going to go much faster with what we're going through right now in the world. Anything that's digitalized is actually a good option for customers and for companies. So if you're thinking now about where should I go, what should I do, really watch the digital space and try to find yourself a spot there. So it was nice to speak to you. I don't see any more questions, so I'll get going. It was just a short Q&A, my first one, the first question to a viewer. So I'll look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye.